got 150. So hey everybody, welcome back to Bow and Arrow Garage. So today I'm working on several of my projects. Actually, I'm going to be working on the C3 Corvette here in just a minute. But on my truck, I actually had an O2 sensor go bad, so I had to replace it this morning. So I'll show you a little footage of that, how I tested it to make sure it was bad. I was getting a code PO135. I cleared the code, drove it. A couple of days later, came back on. And then when I checked it this morning, the code was not, or the check engine light was not on. But after I checked it, then right after I started it, it popped back up. So I tested it, verified it was bad, and replaced it. So I'll show you the footage of that. And then I had to do a couple little things to Mama's car, but that was kind of just a side thing. So I got that done. And now I'm going to be working on the C3 Corvette. And what I'm planning on doing today is I'm going to do a compression test on it. I've had the car for a couple years now, and I've never done a compression test. And the reason being is because honestly, at the end of the day, I was always planning on doing an LS swap on the car. And I still plan to do the LS swap on it. But right now, funds are kind of tight with my daughter having been in the hospital. I missed a couple of months of pay. And so I really don't want to I don't want to spend the money right now. So I want to check this engine and really see what the viability of actually using it as is right now. And moving forward with other things in the car. Like I said, I've been talking about doing the paint. But I'm also thinking about doing a couple of things to the truck. So what I find today is really going to determine which direction I go. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into it, and we're going to get this thing started. I'm going to pull it outside, just clean some of the sanding dust and the fiberglass dust off of it, and then I'll get it back in, pull the spark plugs, and do the compression test. So over the last few weeks, I've gotten a check engine light on the truck. It's the Bank 1 Sensor 1 O2 sensor. It's a PO135. So I'm going to test that oxygen sensor real quick. Hopefully it checks bad. I mean, I don't want it to be bad, but I don't want to be chasing wire issues also. So I'm gonna pull it down and check it out real quick, and then we'll see where we're at. Okay, so I'm checking the O2 sensor. You can see, got my leads here. I have continuity. I should have continuity or resistance between the pins on the two black wires, which are the ones on top here. And I had to go get my glasses because I couldn't see. And it should beep. And I have nothing. So it confirms that the sensor is bad. So it's much easier just to pull the entire downpipe off. So I'm going to get in here. I'm going to pull this O2 sensor out. And it's a little hot just because I drove the truck over from the street over into the driveway. But there she is. I'll get her out of there. Hopefully it comes out easily. I know I used anti-seize when I put it in, so that should make it somewhat easier, but these things can be a pain in the backside sometimes. So we'll see. So I wanted to go ahead and show the test of this a little bit better and compare it to the new one, just to make it a little clearer. So we should have continuity between these two wires. So we'll ring them out. So there's nothing. But if we test the new one, let's see, it's the top two wires here. I keep putting my glasses up and Guess I just need to start keeping them out here with me. But there you go. You can hear definitely continuity on the new one. That's what we need. So we'll go ahead and get set up and put it in. And so the other thing I wanted to point out is that these downpipes are not usually this easy to get out. When I did the swap on the truck, then I ended up fabricating the exhaust from several different systems. I had the old small block 350, and I had bought a slip joint exhaust system. And then when I did the LS swap, I was able to make that work with the new system. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead, like I said, and get set up and get this thing installed, and we'll get it back in the truck. So anytime you're installing an oxygen sensor, you definitely want to use anti-seize. So I was actually surprised to see that it came with its own little packet, so that's good. But anytime I use anti-seize, I want to be very, very careful not to get it on the sensor itself. It's has a tendency to make sensors not work. I try to be pretty liberal, but I wipe off the excess. Probably wouldn't have that detrimental effect on this just because the way that the sensors, we've got a little air gap in between the outside sheathing. And to my surprise, it doesn't look like there's an actual torque. It just says to tighten it securely. So alright, cylinder number 6 is 160. It's not the easiest thing to get this tool on here, and just because of the headers. So, but I'm going to go through and do them all, and then I'll share the results with you. We've got all the right side done. Doing the left side now. Number 1 looks good. I'm going to move on to the other 3. But so far, everything looks great. Okay, here goes cylinder number 8. And we've got 150. Okay guys, I discovered a couple of things about this engine. First of all the cylinders look good. You can see my numbers here.
150 on 1, 160 on 3, 155 on 5, 150 on 7, 155 on 2, 160 on 4, 160 on 6, and 150 on 8. The other thing I discovered is that this engine is not a 350 like I had been told. I don't know if I can get a good picture of the casting number, but that is the casting number for a 327, and it's a 68 model year only. So obviously this car is a 70, and I knew this car was used for a parts car. When I pulled the numbers on the 4-speed Muncie, it's from a 1967. So anyways, I think the guy that had this car, I really think he used it for a parts car, but it is what it is. The engine's good as far as the cylinders go. I think that I'm gonna go replace the spark plugs. It has the spark plugs that came in it, and I'm still having an issue with the spark plugs fouling out. I don't really know what's going on as far as, I think I have the carburetor adjusted pretty well. Earlier I started it up, and I parked it outside, was gonna let it warm up a little bit, and it died on me, and man, I couldn't get it started, and I fought it and couldn't figure it out. So finally I pulled the screws out of the fuel bowls, and the fuel bowl was empty. And I was like, I ran out of gas. So, yep. So yeah, it's not gonna run. It doesn't have gas in it. So anyways, I put some gas in it, took it for a little drive. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and go pick up the spark plugs, get them in here, and we'll call this engine at least pretty decent, and we'll see if we can get it running good. All right, so here's at least the finished product as far as we're concerned right now. I've got the rear bumpers on. I've got the exhaust bezels in. They don't fit fantastic. I mean, they're okay, but I don't know if you can see that gap right there. Everything else fits pretty good, except for down here. It's got that little gap here. There's a slight gap there, but it's not horrible. And I've got them temporarily installed right now with these screws. These are the stainless steel bezels. I wanted to get stainless because of the just so the exhaust wouldn't tear them up. They had a chrome version also, but like I said, I'm gonna powder coat the bumpers at some point. And the good thing is the right side fits just about the same. It's got that gap there again, and then the gap here at the bottom. And then this, I'm obviously gonna have to do some finish work on it. But I wanted to put everything together and see how it looked, and it looks pretty good. The car is running decently. I changed the spark plugs. I went to a little bit hotter plug just to see. The plugs are fouling out just a little bit. I'm not sure what is causing it at this point. I'm pretty sure the carburetor is pretty well adjusted. I had rebuilt it a while back, so we'll have to just take it day by day and kind of monitor the plugs. I took it for a little drive. It drove pretty good. Anyways, but as far as today goes, that's going to be it. Got to clean up my mess and get the car back in the garage, and like I said, start trying to get this video together.
Hey everybody, that's going to conclude this video for the night. I got a lot accomplished. I didn't get a lot of the footage that I wish I could have gotten. For instance, when I was doing the compression test, I used this kit, the Craftsman kit, and man, this thing is really fantastic. But with this car having headers on it, it was really difficult to snake this in and get it to screw in. And I was working by myself at the time. So it was very difficult for me to record actually getting this thing to line up. I was crawling on my back, on my side, everything I could to get it to snake around. But we got it done, and like I showed, the results of the compression test were great. So we know at least the condition of the cylinders and everything on this car is pretty decent. But like I said, it's going to be a couple of weeks before I can really figure out which direction I'm going to go. I think I have a pretty good idea, but I'm going to sit down and talk to my wife about what we're going to do. But for tonight, that's going to be it. Thank you, everybody, once again for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and make sure you ring that notification bell. And we look forward to seeing you in the future. Thanks a lot.